Hello, this is Rich with Saguaro Armor, and today I want to show you how to install our Saguaro Armor kit. So this is the down tube protector here, these are the fork tube protectors, and these are the chainstay protectors. Our kit is designed to possibly prevent catastrophic failure on your frame and on your forks. I do see a lot of forks out there with dents in the down tubes. The magnesium tubes, are very easy to dent, very easy to scratch. And as soon as those fork tubes are dented in, they don't slide so well anymore. And I personally have damaged carbon frames. So like the high spots of the frame, like if you lay your bike down, it's gonna protect the higher spots of your frame if you place it properly. Like this rear triangle has, it's high here. And this down tube, this spot here is susceptible to rock strikes if you, in a crash, So the idea is to protect the sides of the tube to keep from fraying the carbon or the aluminum. So this frame here is my new Ibis Ripley. Before I even ride it, I'm putting my Saguaro Armor. I believe in it that much that I just don't even want to ride the bike until it has this on there. So let's begin. This protector here, I'm gonna get rid of this. This thing is like so barely on there. I'm taking it off and starting over with mine. Here, real quick, let me show you something about this protection. So this down tube protector, this is designed to flex over the down tube as well as this. See how that flexes? And that's designed to go over that curve, that compound curve. So this goes on the bottom bracket. It's designed to flex in a completely different direction in the rear. See how it flexes like that? See, this flexes from side to side, and this flexes from front to back to go over the bottom bracket. So let me get started here. I'm going to take off this protector on the down tube. Essentially, what they have given here is the same thing, but it doesn't do much, and it's got a very thin layer of foam in it, and it's the same thickness as what I'm adding. Just mine has the ability to flex around multiple shapes. So it's extremely important to get all surfaces that this is going to stick to very clean. I'm working with a brand new bike here, so it's already fairly clean, but denatured alcohol or rubbing alcohol is a great solvent to use. I wouldn't use anything other than denatured alcohol or rubbing alcohol. I'm not sure what acetone or lacquer thinner would do to a carbon frame or your paint job. So first things first, we got to get this. I'm gonna do the down tube first, and then I'll clean everything else as I go because it collects dust. So I'm gonna just really wipe down the down tube, get it super clean of finger smudges. It is a really good idea to have your fingers and hands really clean while doing this as well, so you can keep from getting fingerprints on the adhesive. The adhesive is a very strong adhesive, but the cleaner you can get it, the better it's going to adhere. And the oils on your fingers will prevent some adhesion. I'm going to make sure that all the alcohol is dry. So I'm going to just dry fit this. I'm laying this up there. As you can see, this piece goes on the bottom bracket there to protect that area. And I have a Ripmo, and I've ridden the Ripmo a lot without any protection. And it's got lots of rock chips in that area. So I want this perfectly in the middle, so I'm going to mark the middle of where I want this to wind up down here. I'm using a silver marker, and this can be wiped off after it's all on. So I'm just gonna hit it with a little dot and a little dot there. That way I know where to lay it down at. Okay, so I got my front mark. I'm gonna lay it down at the front mark first, because I know that that's where is the best place to start. So before you stick anything down, you want to make sure you got this lined up properly. Don't press anything down or you will be sorry. So I got it basically set into place, you know, in the middle position as best I can. Okay, so it's all into place. I can go ahead and start pressing down these flaps to go around the edges. Notice how it'll just conform to the down tube. And then once it's into place, you know, it's pretty much going to be where it's going to be after you've stuck it. It sticks so well, it's just unbelievable. So after that, it's a good idea to apply some pressure. Once you get it all stuck into place by hand, apply pressure to the areas where it feels like it's going to want to pull up. At the corners and edges, it's going to want to pull up a little more. I got a rawhide mallet here. I'm going to take the wood side of the mallet, and I'm just going to, with both hands, press it down on the edges. This is to really try to get it to stick. And pressure is your friend here. And wood is a good material because it's not going to damage your carbon. So you could hear it kind of pulling up a little bit on the edges. But this stuff really wants to start sticking when pressure's applied. Not that it's even all that much needed, but I just like to make sure it's not going anywhere. And then this is an optional thing. I think it's a good idea to kind of relax the plastic over the carbon, over the frame. I'm going to go on the edges and just apply a little bit of heat. These carbon frames can take some heat. You know, they can't take like flame or something, but I'm just going to keep it moving around on there. And once you start to see a little bit of sheen on the plastic, it's done. You go ahead and stick it down a little bit better. You see at the edges, I'm just heating it up to try to push the edges down a little more. Keep it moving. Don't keep it in one spot. You'll get it too hot. Okay, that's good. And as you can see, it's protected all the way down to the bottom bracket, unlike the factory piece that just protected that much. And look at how much wider my protection is. Okay, so let's go ahead and apply the saguaro armor to the rest of the bike. Okay, so moving on to the seat and chain stays, seat stay, chain stay. I'm wiping it down with some alcohol. Both of them, I'm just gonna wipe them both down. You're gonna wanna figure out where you wanna put these before you stick them, because you're not pulling it back up after it's stuck. So here's the chainstay protectors. They're thin, and I would put it on the corner that's most likely to hit the ground. So this bottom corner is the most likely part to hit the ground, and I would take them, and before I stick them, I would go ahead and kind of soften them up by bending them a little. Just kind of make them a little more pliable. This one, I'm gonna take it. I got it curled here. I'm gonna try to just kind of get it in the middle of the chainstay and flex it in the middle first. I want to stick the middle before I stick the edges. And you can bow it a little. It will take on some shape a little bit, some compound curves, some slight compound curves, and then I just press it down. And being that it sticks up about 1/8 of an inch off the frame, it gives the frame protection from hitting against rocks. So, like the chain stay, the seat stay, I just soften it up a bit by starting by flexing it. And I'm going to stick it about a 1/2 inch from there on the leading edge of this piece of the monocoque rear end. And that's because I want the zip tie. I'm going to put a fender in here that we also make. I want the zip tie to wrap around this. Might as well kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone there. Protect the frame a little bit, and the zip tie will hold this into place. Okay. So about a 1/2 inch back. Well, I'm going to go about 3/8 of an inch back and get it on that leading edge and bend it around it. The whole kit weighs about 200 grams. But the amount of protection that it offers is well worth it, in my opinion. 200 grams is not. I don't mind carrying around an extra 200 grams if I don't have to deal with my frame getting destroyed. So on these forks, there's kind of like an area where the fork is more susceptible to damage, and just try to get it on the outer edge, you know, the far left and the far right edge. And I go about 1.25 inches from the base. You can measure this out if you want. Certainly wouldn't hurt, but I'm just going to go about, it looks like I'm going about 1.5 inches from the bottom of the fork tube. And I just lay it down, stick the middle, and then massage down the sides. This is a chunk of coca-cola, a nice slippery oily wood to push this down with. You don't have to use this, obviously, but that really stuck that down, giving it a little, putting a little heat to it. Stick it in that little corner right there. The bottom bracket on my Ripley is just, it's got chips all over it. Like, I'm gonna heat that up. So we got the whole kit installed. I got the saguaro armor on the seat stays, chain stays, down tube, and then I also installed our proprietary Ibis rear fender, the Ibis Ripley. This comes, I have these available for the Ripmo and the Ripley, and they are different. I just had to make a few adjustments to the Ripley fender and made this one, you know, it just fits perfect. So, got it on the forks here, and the down tube just looks so slick. It even looks cool. And the matte black bike, along with the kind of, it looks like sandpaper, the saguaro armor, it just really is stunning. And now I'll be happy to ride it in rough conditions.